All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, February 28th, 2013, a regular commission meeting. This morning, I'll ask everybody if they will please to put their communication devices on silent. And then we're privileged today to have Pastor George Trapani, okay, from Mount Calvary Baptist Church, here to lead us in prayer. And then we'll follow that up with a Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll ask Commissioner Salter to please lead us in the pledge. Pastor, good morning. Please rise.
Y'all will please join me in prayer. And I pray, God, you give unto these men, these ladies that are here today, give them the wisdom of Solomon, to be able to make the decisions that they need to be able to make. Father, help those that are in this room to have understanding that all decisions are made, not just for one, but for the good of all. Father, just give us good understanding and wisdom today. Help every one of these men and ladies, and everything that's done in this room today may be pleasing to thee. We ask these things in your Son's precious and most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to our nation's flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We appreciate that this morning. Always good to start out a meeting with prayer and all. So this time I'll ask for approval of the agenda, and I'll start to my right with Commissioner Williamson with any add-ons.
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Salter?
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Melvin?
No change, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Lynchard?
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Anything from staff? Okay, I have two add-ons I'd like to put on the administrative committee. Number one is some information we received from NACO. Is that going to be number 4? Yes, sir. Is number 4 about government and municipal bonds. And item number 2, or number 5, will be a little information about the town hall meeting that we had on the bear situation, and ask the board to support an idea of putting a bear link on our website. So, all right, we'll start out our meeting now with Commissioner Salter at Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one item. Recommend soliciting bids for sale of 35-acre parcel in Santa Rosa Industrial Park for proposed distribution center project. Shannon gave us an update on this on Monday, so unless there are any additional questions, I would move approval without objection.
Seeing no questions, no objections, it passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Salter. Administrative Committee, item number 1 is recommend the use of Navarre Nature Walk Park by the Navarre Beach Area Chamber of Commerce for the annual park concert series from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. each of the following Thursdays: May 16th, 23rd, and 30th, June 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, July 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th, and August 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th. I move that without objection. Hearing none, it passes. If you've never been there before, it's a great event. Get out there and enjoy it. Item 2, recommend soliciting proposals for the following services required for disaster emergency response. Item 1 is disaster recovery administrative services, and item 2 is disaster debris planning and support. We discussed these the other day, and I'll take any further comments, questions, or objections. Seeing none, it passes. Item 3 is meetings, and unless otherwise noted, these meetings below are held in the boardroom in Santa Rosa County Administrative Center. They're all listed for you, and they are on our website and on this hard copy. So I'll move those meetings without objection. Hearing none, it passes. Item number 4 is an add-on that I had, and I believe Did Miss Emily get a chance to pass all that out to the board members? There's some movement amongst our federal government to remove the ability for local and state governments, mainly local governments, to issue tax-exempt government bonding. And this is a type of bonding that if we can move forward sometime, hopefully soon in the future, with perhaps a new judicial center in Santa Rosa County, that we may be able to use as a revenue source to issue bonds, tax-free bonds, to build a function like that or a building like that. Different times government's been able to use tax-free bonds, and that's the incentive for people to invest in these bonds, is the fact that they are tax-free. That is one of the discussions items that I'll be hearing as I sit on the NACO Land Use and Energy and Environmental Board this coming weekend and first part of next week. And I'd like board approval to be able to have the ability to say that Santa Rosa County stands against any changes to that, and would like federal government to let us be sovereign and have the ability to continue with that. So this time, is there any further discussion from members of the board? Commissioner Melvin.
Just one addition to that, not only do they want to strip the tax-free characteristic from future bonds, they're contemplating removing that from issued bonds as well, which would really create havoc.
Yeah.
If you happen to have those in your portfolio and you're counting on that as your retirement, or a portion of that as your retirement stream, it's going to be a rude shock if they do that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? So, wishes of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Salter?
I would support your representing us in opposition to this, without objection.
Hearing no objection, it passes. Thank you. Appreciate that. No, it was kind of a last-minute thing, but it's very important. Second item that I've added today is the other night we had a town hall meeting in Baghdad. Representative Broxson, myself, Florida FWC, and Waste Management was there with their trash cans that the Bears, I'm not going to say cannot get into, but have a harder time of getting into. And I appreciate everybody in attendance. We had about 60 people there. A lot of good information distributed, and I'd like to ask the board this morning to allow our computer department to work with Joyce Sabota and basically develop a bare link on our website for animal services, for the sheriff's department, for ourselves. So as we have citizens that have questions or who to call, that type of thing, it would automatically refer or link to FWC. There's been a lot of confusion from all departments on who to call, what will be done, different issues like that. So I think it'll give everybody, pretty much put everybody on the same page by developing this link to our website. And I just think that's be a good thing to do for our citizens. And if there's any other comments, questions today concerning that? If not, I'd move that without objection. Hearing none, it passes, and we'll get that rolling. So, all right, that finishes up with the administrative committee, and we'll move now to our engineers report. Item 1 is recommend removal of obstructions which penetrate the 20-1 Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) glide path requirements for approach to runway 36 at Peter Prince Airport. We discussed this the other day, and if there's any other comments, questions, if not, move it without objection. Item 2 is recommend preliminary plat for Pace Mill Creek Phase 2, a 27-lot subdivision located in Working District 1. And according to the recommendations from Engineering Department, I'll move that without objection. Hearing none, it passes. Item 3 is recommend final plat for Duncan Ridge, a 27-lot subdivision located in Working District, that'd be 4, I believe it's not on here.
Yes, that's correct.
4? Okay. Any comments or questions?
Yes.
Mr. Blaylock?
Yes, Commissioner, and as you and I had discussed, subject to receipt of an acceptable security for the uninstalled improvements.
Okay. And we discussed that, and Roger and I will get with Avis after the meeting sometime today and work all that out. So, any other comments, questions?
That was pending receipt of the,
Yes.
yeah.
We go by working district, so I believe you are correct. It's the District 4, voting Working District 5. That's correct, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In Santa Rosa County. All right. All right, hearing no further objections, that passes. All right, and at this time, we'll open up the Public Service Committee. Commissioner Lyncher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have two items. Item number one is recommend subordination of the mortgage for HHRP Home Purchase Assistance Loan for property at 6204 Weekly Street, consistent with board policy. I'll move approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And item two is recommend variance of floodplain management ordinance for proposed structure at 1154 Oyster Bay Drive. And again, I'll move approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes public services.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, we'll move to Public Works. Commissioner Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have three items today. The first item is recommend resurfacing the following roads in District 1 at an estimated cost of $120,456. Jenny Circle, Santa Villa Drive south of Jenny Circle, Landmark Lane, Highland Boulevard to Pace Lane, Blackwater Street, West End, Regency Drive, Fair Oaks Drive to Williams Road, Patriot Drive, Compass Court, Wood Duck Drive. And I move approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item two is recommend paving the following dirt roads in District 1 at an estimated cost of $26,684. And I move approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And the last item is recommend proposal from Florida Pest Control and Chemical Company in the amount of $101 per acre for ant control in county parks based on comparison shopping, including a three-year contract with annual renewals thereafter. And I move approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. At this time, we'll go to Budget and Finance. Commissioner Milton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 11 items this morning. Item number one is recommend a bid in the amount of $23,340 from Mike Moat Builders, LLC, for the home substantial rehabilitation project located at 5041 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. This is low bidder meeting specifications. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number two is recommended bid in the amount of $19,175 from Kaiser Siding and Construction Incorporated for a home substantial rehabilitation project at 4357 Pineville Circle as the low bidder meeting specifications. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number three is recommended bid from Martin Marietta Aggregates for lime rock stabilized base material at $25.50 a ton in Milton and $24 per ton picked up at the Port of Pensacola as the low bidder meeting specifications, and I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number five is recommend rejection of the bids received for the Navarre East Phase 1 CDBG Sewer Improvements Project and authorize rebidding, and I move that without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number five is recommend Budget Amendment 2013-96 in the amount of $33,122, which will complete the Pace Community Center construction funded by $16,561 from each of District 1 and District 3 recreation funds, and I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number six is recommend Budget Amendment 2013-97 in the amount of $15,000 for the annual youth development program at the YMCA from the District 4 Recreation Reserve Funds, and that's the Pullman YMCA in Navarre. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number seven is recommend Budget Amendment 2013-98 in the amount of $16,590, which will carry forward funds from the insurance premiums for the umbrella policy and the general liability coverage in the general fund, and I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number eight is recommend Budget Amendment 2013-99 in the amount of $28,000 for an ad valorem tax refund to Avalex Technologies for job creation is approved by the board November the 8th, 2012. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, passes.
Item number 9 is recommend budget amendment 2013-100 in the amount of $200,000, which will recognize a 2012-2013 Defense Infrastructure Grant Award for acquisition of property proximate to NAS Whiting Field, and I do so without objection.
Hearing none, passes.
Item number 10 is recommend budget amendment 2013-101 in the amount of $30,000 for additional abatement demolition of unsafe properties and allocates those funds for expenditure in the general fund. I do so without objection.
Hearing none, it passes. Before you move on, Mr. Chairman, if I could, we asked the other day if we could get a breakdown of that. Tony, have we had time to get that? Return on our investment or that we received
No, sir.
on demolition?
We don't have that yet.
Okay.
We'll get you something.
All right, thank you.
I do know that the recapture would probably be minimal at this point.
Okay.
This is probably one of those expenditures where we're just doing away with a hazard and there probably won't be any real recapture.
When a property sales is basically when you're going to recapture.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you.
Item number 11 is recommend the county expenditures and checkbook register. I've reviewed those, Mr. Chairman, and satisfied my questions and signed and put it on your desk for your approval. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Melvin. County Administrator.
Yeah, there was actually an item 8, we had moved the Tallwood Court road paving MSBU from the engineering agenda to the Financial Management Committee. It was item number 5, so you must have had they must not have replaced that in.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I am
Please.
not complete with my report because my item number 5 is not the same as everybody else's. My item number 5 reads, recommend budget amendment 2013-96, and so on. So my 5 is everybody else's 6. So there was a confusion there. Mr. Chairman, we have an even dozen, and I've omitted item number 5 in everyone else's book but mine. Number 5 is recommend the bid from Perdido Grading and Paving LLC in the amount of $38,000 for the Tallwood Court Road paving MSBU as the low bidder meeting specifications, and I do so without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Mr. Chairman, that really concludes my report.
Okay. And just for public's information and Brandy's, that means that everything from which was previously item 5 on Commissioner Melvin's report, 2013-96, down to the end of the report will be bumped down one number, just so that's on record. Okay. All right, anything else from County Administrator? County Attorney? Public Forum? Anybody else from staff? We're adjourned.
Nope. Look at that.